All right. We will wait for the computer to come up and some 5x5s as I got to peek around the camera here so I can see, because I can see my computer, but obviously had a setup for tonight. So we'll do that. Let's see. Come on, computer, today. Finley says 5x5. I can't see me yet. Jacob, Robert. Okay, if you Kim, Krista, 5x5. Okay, so good. So you guys can see me. All right, good deal. Love how my computer is slower. I can't see me, and you guys already can. All right. Well, welcome to Tuesday. And before we get into tonight's festivities, I want to touch on a couple of things. First off, I want to discuss real fast something that was posted on YouTube here maybe about 2 hours ago. And all I can say is, guys, for 4 years, we bitched about fake news and CNN and all this sort of stuff. And when I see channels post something like, my source at the White House just told me that Kamala Harris has been sworn in as president, I ask you this. If that actually happened, wouldn't you think that every media outlet in the world would be reporting that? I highly, highly doubt that the first place anybody's going to know about a change in the president is through YouTube. Okay. I'm not going to mention who the channel is, but I will just say that it is not a reliable channel ever. I mean, it's more BS than facts 100% of the time. I mean, you want to talk about classic conspiracy theorist, go watch him, and hey, what can I make up today to generate clicks? Yeah. So I'll believe Kamala Harris is sworn in as the president when I see CBS, NBC, Fox, Breitbart, one of those report it. Until then, nah, sorry. You want to say it was your opinion? That's one thing. We're all entitled to that. But do not put out facts that are fake, okay? And I'm sorry, but I highly doubt there's any YouTube content creators that have confidential sources in the White House. Really? Just say it. Okay. So I want to put that one out there. The other thing I want to talk about, I showed you, I pinned that video up on the top. And I was reading an article today that one of y'all sent me to go read. It was actually a very good article. I might talk about it in the morning. But at one point it referenced that Twilight Zone. And I probably haven't watched Twilight Zone episodes in 40 years. Okay. And so I went and I looked, and as usual, it's, you want to find anything, it's on YouTube. So I found the episode and I watched it. And I want you guys to remember this. This is back from 1961. Okay. So this is the middle of the Cold War era. And, tensions were high, and, you're coming around Bay of Pigs and all this sort of stuff. I mean, the nuclear threat was real. People were actually building bunkers in their basements and things like that. But as I watched the show, I kind of looked at it from a 2022 perspective, okay, and thought about it. And the reason I pinned it there was because I was hoping you guys would hear and see some of the same things I saw. All the neighbors making fun of him at the dinner table for prepping. But then all of a sudden, when they needed him, oh my God, you're the only way to save me. The comment that I thought was telling when the family was in the bunker, oh, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And the husband and wife are talking. Don't worry, honey, we have 2 weeks of stored food and water. After a nuclear blast, you're expecting you're going to come out in 2 weeks. I'm not thinking that's probably likely. Okay, but 2 weeks, that was what was thought. Then of course you had the fight in the stairwell and, the arguments amongst the neighbors and everything. Mind you, this is 1961 and the world was a lot politer place than it is today. Can you imagine what it's going to be like now with the insanity that is socially acceptable everywhere, okay, if something like that actually happened? If we turned on the radio or turned on the internet or whatever it is, and they said there are incoming missiles from Iran, North Korea, China, Russia, wherever, can you imagine the insane response if somebody knew you had a safe place to hide. Food, water, whatever. As the one guy made the comment in there, we don't want to go over there. We can't tell the people on the next street they've got their own problem. Those are your neighbors. Those are the people that you're friends with. Unless your neighbors are completely on board with being prepping or being preppers and are doing something for themselves, my opinion, screw them. Okay. You know, when they busted the door down, you know, typical Hollywood, you know, you can bust the door down with a piece of pipe. You don't think a nuclear blast might take out that door? I mean, they did one hit on there and the door was all dented. You know, no, I'm thinking we probably have something a little stronger if you're building a bomb shelter. But, you know, of course, this was TV. So, but I thought it was something good to look at just to get a perspective of that's timid, that's tame for what it would actually be like. And I thought you guys just might want to see something that wasn't Steven Seagal and Arnold Schwarzenegger, you know, saving the world, you know, more what a real life scenario kind of would be like. So thought I'd show you that. So just some information to think about and, you know, ponder and figure your own situation out. You know, like I said, it's probably going to be part of tomorrow's, maybe mornings, maybe afternoons, depends on when I get it done. But I'm gonna do a video on SWAT. No, it's not swatting like Marjorie Taylor Greene or Alex Jones or calling the police and doing that. No, it's SWOT. So I'll explain that to you. It's another military type thing, but very important. Okay, so that was it. I wanted to ramble about those real quick. And I figure, what do we got? 1,850 people in here right now. From when I looked earlier, that means we're still 1,500 people roughly short of how many comments I saw in there. So let's see, we'll give it a few more minutes. But let's see, just on a real quick one, I'll give you a funny story. Some of the material that was supposed to be delivered for my garage, right? I had an order 2 weeks ago. I called them up today. I mean, you guys know, I mean, anything and everything that can go wrong with this garage build has gone wrong. I cannot find a single competent person yet, okay? The only one so far that hasn't screwed anything up is the guys that put the siding on. They did a great job. Everybody else has screwed something up. So I called this company today. I said, yeah, I ordered something 2 weeks ago. I said, you guys said you'd call me when it was in. Oh, if we haven't called you yet, it's not here yet. I said, well, can you check real quick and tell me, you know, when it's expected? Because you guys said a week to 10 days, and it's been 2 weeks. Comes back on the phone. Oh, well, this got here the 31st. Like, really, a week ago? I said, nobody called me. It's nice to know, so, yeah. I said, so how about scheduling delivery? She says, oh, I show it's scheduled to be delivered for tomorrow. Like, really? I said, who did they talk to? Oh, they talked to somebody, you know, your salesperson there at the company. I'm like, lady, this is my residence. The only phone number you have is my cell phone. The only person who answers my cell phone is me. And no, you did not talk to me. I mean, every excuse they could come up with that they had confirmed, they just winged it. Okay. Fortunately, I'll be here. Okay. But it's like, if I didn't call in, I wouldn't know. I would say, you know, hey, I had to run to the store. And all of a sudden, nobody home. So interesting. All right, we are pushing 2,000 people, so let's get into the drawing for tonight, because I figure after we do the drawing, a bunch of you guys will leave because that's what you do. I set the comment section, if you guys noticed, there for subscribers only for at least a day, so we're not getting at least some of the people trying to just, you know, professional contest entrance. And I did put the timer on 2 minutes, and I apologize to my mods. It's still going nuts over there. I will back it down to a minute after the contest is over, but I left it on 2 minutes just so the person who wins has a chance to comment and all of us have a chance to see it without it just looking like a slot machine going up there. So let me remind everybody again how this works. I put the video up the other day with the review of the Cosori food dehydrator. The only place that you were able to enter was on that specific video, okay? So if you put comments in here on the live stream or other videos, those aren't part of the drawing. Sorry, not going to be there. Your comment must have included the state in which you live in, and your favorite color. I don't know if it's your favorite color, but a reference to a color. Okay, I don't care if you say, I have a black 1973 AMC Javelin. It's got a color in there. I'm good with that. All right. But that's so I want people to pay attention to the video and keep out the professional contest entrance. It only is we only take primary comments. So if you put your comment in under the in a reply or something, that's not eligible. I say this every time. And again, the person who wins has to be here. So we will give them 3 minutes to announce their presence. If they aren't here, by the time the clock goes off, we draw another name. Okay. Sorry, only way. And then, of course, when I get the winner and the winner says, yeah, this is Joe from North Carolina, and I get an address that says, hi, I'm in Oregon, we have another drawing. Hasn't happened yet, but I'm betting we'll have something like that where somebody will try to scam it out. That's the other reason for doing the must be a subscriber for 1 day, so nobody goes real quick and says, ooh, I can be Joe in Maryland. I'll create an account real quick and go in and say, sorry, you haven't been subscribed for a day, so you can't do it. So I'm trying to keep this to the prepping community and to the family, guys, as best I can. But y'all see all the scammers. I mean, I spent 20 minutes yesterday, or maybe it was this morning, deleting all the scam comments again. So fortunately, it doesn't sound like nobody's emailing me. So it doesn't sound like any of you guys are falling for it, but we'll go there. All right. So let's flip this over and let's flip this over first. Okay. So there we go. All right. Make sure we can see everything. There we go. And I will blow this up and not that big. Come on. Always hard to do on a phone. There we go. All right. Hopefully that's big. That should be big enough that you guys can see it. All right. So I have entered in here, right here where my mouse is cruising along, the link from the YouTube video from the other day with the actual review in it. So we will do fetch and see how many comments we get. Anything goes. It's fine. So just so you guys know what that means, we're not filtering out any keywords or giving top-rated commenters any sort of thing. Anything goes, okay? The only thing we are not including is replies, and we are not including duplicates. Everybody gets 1 entry. And I say this on every contest. I hope in every entry you met the criteria, because if the one that you put in that's pulled says, oh, this looks great, I want one, and then your next comment says, Joe from Idaho and my favorite color is blue, and it pulls the first comment, I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. Okay, it's whatever it pulls. So, all right, let's see how many people we have. We will load the comments. I looked at this earlier and we had like 3,200, so we'll see what we get now. As I said, when I saw we had 2,000 people or whatever it was like, 1,200 people that made comments that aren't here. So just tell you guys, there you go. Only 2/3 of people show up, your odds just went up. Okay, 23, 24, 25. Tick, 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 tick. Yeah, you guys can't see it as fast as I can, so counting along. 3,323 comments. All right, drum roll. Here we go. Pick a winner. And I'll leave it for a second here until you guys can hopefully see it. Gene Flagg, South Dakota, and terracotta. I would say terracotta is a color. So let's see if Gene Flagg is in the house. So Gene, it is 8:14 my time. So at 8:17, your time is up. So you have 3 minutes to say, hi, I'm here. So let's put this back to me so we can kind of look at it. Gene Flagg, calling Gene Flagg. Mods, please help me if you see her name come up. Otherwise, we will do it again. Gene Flagg. Where are you? Nope, not Jean Blair. Sorry. Let's see. Yeah, and as Lucky Dame's asking, and I would ask everybody else too, please, if you can hold your comments so we can see if Gene comes in, makes it a lot easier for us. I mean, I appreciate it's really slowed down, so a lot of you guys are doing that. That just helps me and the mods not miss it because remember, just like you have a 2-minute timeout, so does she. And if she commented just before we pulled the name, she's only going to have a chance to throw one comment in there. So we want to watch real quick. Gene Flagg, are you here? This is not looking good for Gene Flagg. 8:15, 2 minutes, Gene. All right. I know everybody says, why do you give so much time? Again, because we put the 2-minute deal in there so the comments aren't running like crazy watching for it. So, yeah, one guilt-free. I have a tendency to agree that she's a no-show. Like I said, we had 2,300 comments, did I say? And there were 2,300 people and 3,300 comments. So there's 1,000 people that commented that didn't show up. Okay. And I made it I think I make it very clear every time. It's like, yes, must be present to win. So, 8:16. Guys, this might be one where you get a second chance. Let's see. I don't see Gene Flagg coming in. Well, we will give her till 8:17 as promised. Thank you, Lorna. Oh no, Gene. I do not see a Gene Flagg. I'm watching the clock, guys. Last call, right there you go, Jacob. Watching, tick, 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 tick tock, tick tock. And all right, looks like we're doing this again. So let's go back to the random comment picker and back to the screen. Okay, so let's close out of this. And the winner is not Gene Flagg because Gene was not here. So we will pick another winner. And here we go. Pamela Fury. What a nice surprise. Thank you both. This would look incredible on my kitchen counter here in West Virginia. I love the color red. West Virginia and red. It sounds like a valid entry to me. So let's look for Pamela Fury. Pamela Fury, I see you right off the get-go. Okay. There we go. This time we got a winner. Pam, congratulations. Just a letter I or the number 1. It's like, oh my God, I got to get it in. I got to get it in. Just entered. It's good enough for me. You're here. So that's it. All right, Pam. So what I need you to do is email me your mailing address. Wellbots uses FedEx, so I need a physical address, not a post office. But your physical mailing address and your phone number so I can get it to Elliot. And he'll probably have this out, my guess, Thursday or Friday, so you'll probably get it by the beginning of next week. But congratulations, very nice prize. And we will move on with the rest of the show. So let me get my computer to where I can see it without it being a mile away from me. And we'll do a couple of adjustments here so I can see me. There we go. All right. What do you know? I did it this time without tipping over the phone or dropping the computer. So, all right, everybody grab a libation. It is homebrew night for me. Finally got it done. So a little in recognition of Oktoberfest, which, yes, in case you all don't know, Oktoberfest is in September. A Bavarian Weiss beer. So, cheers to all you. All right. So let's get into what we normally do here on the live streams is Q&A. First off, I would love to thank all my moderators, and I'm going to go change this back to 60 seconds here so y'all can ask questions. So let me do that. And let that come out of YouTube, save the screen. Thank you. Okay, but I would like to thank all my moderators for showing up tonight. Of course, Jacob, Cat Lady Life, Robert, Lucky Dame, Mammy, Lorna, and North Shore for taking time out of their day to keep it a little civil here and keep me from completely losing my mind again. So go from there. All right. So if you're new here, what we do is Q&A. If you have a question for me, like every other YouTube channel out there, please put it in all caps. I mean, there's 2,100 of you guys, and there's one of me. I can't read all the comments. The moderators are for it. So I look for the capital letters. I try to answer everything I can. Some I just don't know, guys. Okay, I'm not going to try to BS you or anything like that. If I don't know, I'll tell you flat out. I don't know. There's some topics I know very well. There's some topics I'm learning, and that's the reason I watch YouTube videos, is to go learn stuff. Okay, so bring up that. Please keep it PG-13. Please treat everybody else in here with a little respect. And the same that you'd expect to be treated yourself, okay? No name calling, no arguing, anything like that. Difference of opinion is fine. Just be polite about it. I don't expect you to agree with everything I say. If it's factual, I'm going to fight tooth and nail and explain to you it's factual. I think you guys got the idea of that this morning. If it's my opinion and you disagree, that's totally cool. Maybe you'll change my opinion. I doubt it, but you might, but at least you'll give me something to think about, which is good. So, no topics off limits. Ask me whatever you want to ask. I mean, if you want to talk about gardening, security, weaponry, food storage, who knows? Some of you guys have been here for a while. Know we've talked about old movies, rock and roll, God knows what. So, keep it fun. So who cares what we talk about? The idea is fellowship, sense of community, and learning something as we can. So, all right, let me get to the top of the screen here, and I'm going to unpin that comment so I can see more of this, and let me scroll this up so it's a little bigger. There we go. All right, let me get up to the top, or as far up as I can get, and we will get the show on the road. All right, and we get all the congrats, so that's a good thing there. Lots of congratulations for Pam. Now let's see if we can find some questions. Page up, there's something. Okay. Jerry L. Can potatoes be grown year-round? I'm in Zone 8 in southern Arizona. Yes, in your zone. I mean, you're not going to grow potatoes up in Montana, though it's supposed to be 104 according to Montana Grizz fan. But yeah, down in Arizona, yeah, you shouldn't have any problem with it. The only thing I will say, and you probably already know this, I'd advise you get some shade cloth to put over the potatoes to keep them out of that direct sun, but I don't believe you're going to get cold enough. Potatoes will store in the ground over winter. I mean, there's no problem like that. They're just not going to grow. As long as you can be growing the greens on the top, the potatoes are growing underneath. But yes, they can be grown year-round as far south as you are, because you don't get a freeze. So that would be why. But yes, you need the warm. If you can grow the greens, you can grow the potatoes. Richard Cranium, did I hear anything about copper replacing silver? I heard something and I'm concerned. In regards to what? I mean, you're not gonna replace silver in electronics or solar panels or something with copper. It's not a conductor in that way, so that wouldn't work. And considering money isn't backed by precious metals anymore, I need to know a little bit more about in what context copper is replacing silver. So, no, I haven't heard anything about that whatsoever. Susan Lathrop, are there any radio stations that we should have for when the SHTF stations that we can trust? When it all goes to hell, you're going to have the emergency broadcast system, and that's going to be it. Okay. And how much you can trust them, we'll see. But I mean, that should be factual information. As the dust settles a little bit, you're going to start getting the ham operators. And again, I'm assuming here, all right, because we haven't gone through this. Okay. But, you will probably get the ham operators telling you what they know, hence a reason why a ham radio having, a little Baofeng or something like that, even if you don't have the license to talk on it, having it to be able to listen to, play around with it and see what you can listen to is definitely worthwhile. I've talked about being on a CB and picking up the skip. Sometimes that might be good to do at night. but that's where you're going to get some other information. But having a ham radio of some sort, uh, at least to listen, is going to be good, because your transistor radio, you know, when I say transistor radio, I mean your little hand crank portable radio. You don't know how reliable that information is going to be. That's going to be a lot of government propaganda. Just remember that. Yeah, Romy Davis says, watch him drop off now. Yeah, we've dropped 100 already. Not a big surprise. Mindy Lick, do I teach home brewing? No, actually, I talked about it one time. What I did, it's a real simple thing. There's a company called Mr. Beer. Literally, that's what it is. And if you go to mrbeer.com, that's all this is a Mr. Beer brewing kit. And it takes about 6 weeks to brew a batch of beer, but it's worthwhile. It's not hard. And I mean, it's not fun. I mean, really, you boil a pot of water and put some ingredients in it, and then put it in a keg and let it ferment for 3 weeks, and then bottle it and let it carbonate for 3 weeks. It's not like it's exciting or something like that, but it's kind of cool when you got your own beer that's the same price as cheap beer, and it tastes a hell of a lot better than any of the swill that you buy in the store. I mean, it tastes, if you like microbrews or whatever, this is what you're gonna have. You're gonna have something that nobody else has tasted before, because it's gonna be a little bit different. Your water is going to be different than somebody else. They recommend using distilled waters. I use tap water. I use the water out of my well. Comes out fine. Okay, it is what it is. So, but I've never had a complaint when I've served one to somebody. Patty Hansen, have a beer for me on my birthday, fellow Virgo. Well, happy birthday to you too, and well, another fellow Virgo. Pighead Water Buffalo, what do you think of the impact of the railroad strikes? Okay, well, we got 10 days till that's going to happen. We'll see what happens this time. But you think the supply chain is a clustercluck right now? Wait till that happens, okay? Because, think of some of the stuff that's transported by rail. Fuel, coal, okay? Can't put that in a FedEx box and ship it somewhere. An 18-wheeler is not going to be transporting loads of coal to you. Okay. How many trucks is it going to need to start hauling, crude oil? That there's a whole lot of disaster that happens if the railroad goes on strike. And the government knows that, and the railroad employees know that too. It's like, okay, you want to mess with us bad enough, we'll shut you all down. And if you think they didn't notice what happened up in Canada last year with the truckers convoy, they did. Okay. If it shuts down even for a day or two, okay, they're playing chicken. It's more than playing chicken. It's playing Russian roulette at that point, because that will completely mess everything up. I would highly suggest you have your car full of gas. You do your grocery shopping before the 16th, because on the 16th, if that strike goes through, you guarantee there's some guy at the grocery store going, raise the price of everything $1, or whatever. So, yeah, that could really mess us up. Pet Prep Radio Show. White Claw watermelon is the only thing in the house tonight. Cheers. There you go. Okay. Actually, that's something I've never had. But then again, I'm not a fan of what are they? The alcoholic sparkling waters or anything like that. I'm just a beer guy. That's it. Jose Hernandez Mendoza Malbec. I have no idea what that means. Cheers. Okay. JHMM. Okay. Nope. Sorry. Maybe I'm too old for that. Let's see. JD Paul, do you think we should pull our money out of the banks, just pay the bills? Yes. If you've got outstanding bills, yes, pay the bills. Okay. Save some. I mean, you need to have some cash. You all know we talk about this every week, about how much cash I think you should have on hand, because yes, there are things that you're going to have to pay for in cash. the property taxes or whatever it would be, you know. But if you've got outstanding bills, you know, you got a credit card bill for $1,000 and you have $2,000 in the bank, I'm like, what are you doing? Okay. You're paying 24% interest on that $1,000 credit card bill while the bank is paying you 1/10 of 1% interest on your savings. You're losing money. Pay the damn bill. You know, that's fine. You know, you still got the credit card or whatever it is. If you need an emergency, now you got the credit card to use. But again, same thing. You know, think about what happens if everything blows up. The government, the businesses, or whatever are going to try to call in everything they have. Remember, you have a car loan, you have a house loan or something, they can call it. You know, they can call you up and say, you owe $100,000 on your house. We need it now. Read the contract. It's in there, guys. Okay. You know, they have an out clause. And, you know, but of course, if you have the title to your car or the deed to your house in hand, there's nobody to call you. Yes. Get the bills paid. You know, having cash is going to be, we all know cash is going to turn into worthless anyway. Get the bills paid now so you don't have worthless cash and you still have those bills. They're still going to want it, you know, especially when it comes to an SHTF situation. That's when the bank, the creditor, whatever's going to go, I don't care if money's worthless, pay us in silver, but you got to pay us, you know. Unless Biden goes, hey, you know what? We're giving you a car payment forgiveness. Whatever. There's a good question. Catherine Smalley. What are my top, I'm assuming you mean my personal top 3 bartering items. The first one that absolutely is going to be my skills, my knowledge that I have on a wide variety of subjects. The second thing that I will barter is seeds. Why? Because I have plenty of them. Everybody's going to need them, and I can replenish them without a problem and know how to do it. Okay. Third one. I don't know. I think that would depend on the situation. Somebody would have to have something I really want to get rid of anything else. I am not bartering food. I am absolutely not bartering ammunition. Okay. And anybody that says, oh yeah, they're going to trade guns or whatever it is. I mean, trading away your guns and ammo, in my opinion, I don't care what you read in every one of these books, it's got to be the most stupid thing I've ever heard. Okay. Why would I give somebody else the tools in which that they can kill me? Well, you know, hey, I'll trade you this box of bullets for that box of tomatoes. Great. So you're at your meeting place, you give him the box of bullets, he gives you the box of tomatoes, he stands right in front of you and goes click, 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 click. Now I want my tomatoes back. Right? Not difficult. Now what are you going to throw a tomato at him? You're going to lose that fight. Okay. So yeah, now you're out the bullets and out the tomato. Never trade your ammo. Okay. If somebody else didn't have it, that's their own damn problem. Okay. Ammo is going to be way too valuable. You know, your defense is crucial. Your defense and your eating are the 2 most important things that you're going to have, because even if you don't have shelter, you gotta have the other 2. Otherwise, you're dead. Okay. But yeah, the things that I would absolutely barter with are my skills and my seeds. Anything else, like I said, it would have to be a deal too good to be true. Kelly Hertzel, how high do I think electric bills in the U.S. will get this year? Well, a lot of that, there's a lot of moving parts to that one. How much natural gas, how much coal do we have to send to Europe? How cold does the winter get here in the United States? Okay. What happens, you know, with a lot of things? I mean, you take Lake Mead, for example. What happens if there's no water and Lake Mead gets down below the point where it can provide the whole Southwest with electricity? Then electric rates go through the roof. I mean, and I'll give you this. Remember what happened when Texas had the power grid problem with that ice storm, that cold wave, okay? And the price that I forget the name of the company down there, was charging Texans for electricity. If we have a situation like that, it's going to be, I have a $30,000 electric bill. What do you do? I mean, because they're not going to, I mean, they might tell you ahead of time, hey, rates are going up, but you don't have a meter on each light switch and go, if I turn this light on for 15 minutes, it's going to cost me $4. Okay. So you have the lights on, you run your computer, you charge your phone, whatever it would be, and then you get that electric bill and you go, I can't pay this. Yeah, I think electric bills are definitely going to go up this winter. How much? Let's hope it's not like Europe. Rob H., how bad do I predict this winter will get, especially for the European countries with the inability to heat their homes due to natural gas costs? It's funny, I did the video this morning, and there are a couple of people in Europe said, oh, that'll never happen. Right, okay, because everybody said where we are right now would never happen, and yet here we are. That everybody wants to live peacefully. Sure, the people pretty much do want to live peacefully. The governments don't. The politicians all have these illusions of grandeur where, oh, we can do it better. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Okay, that's the problem. Remember, you go back a few years. I remember Trump giving the speech at the UN. This video has got a lot of play lately, where Trump is standing there telling everybody that the Germans are idiotic for getting rid of all their coal plants and shutting down their nuclear plants. And you see all the German representatives laughing at him. Who's laughing now? Okay, Trump was right. Those people were wrong. But do you think those UN representatives care? No, like I said, their house will still be warm. They're not going to worry about it because the taxpayer pays their bills. The taxpayer's going, what do I do? Yeah. If it gets bad enough, 70% of the businesses in the UK are on verge of filing bankruptcy. Yeah, that's a scary thought. This is when you get torches and pitchforks, guys. And if winter is as bad in Europe as it's being predicted to be, when you start seeing death in the streets of people freezing to death, the people will rise up. And then, I've said many times, all it takes is one event. Archduke Ferdinand in World War I, his assassination started World War I. I pretty much bet before the day he was shot, there weren't many people, especially in the United States, who knew who Archduke Ferdinand was, and probably I'd say a third of Europe didn't know. Okay, but we wound up in a world war over that. Let's say there's an assassination attempt on a prime minister in Europe. Could it turn into a world war? Very quickly. Aaron Brody, dehydrating horseradish. Your thoughts? Never heard of that one. I don't see why, though, because pretty much if you make horseradish out of it, horseradish is one of those things that is not going bad. You can put that in a jar and that stuff will be good for years. SC Girl Pinball, thank you for the seeds. Greatly appreciated. Guys, what I'm going to ask everybody, if you have, a lot of you have started to get some of the seeds, please use those seeds to do the same next year for your community, your neighbors, whatever. I mean, I know I didn't send everybody a ton of seeds, but even in the tomato seeds, you get 5 or 6 tomato seeds. If you get 5 or 6 tomato plants, mind you this, I was able to send out probably about 500 envelopes for each seed off of 10 plants, 10 tomato plants. That's all I had. I mean, of each variety, okay? You know how many seeds are in a tomato, how many tomatoes you get. You're going to get thousands of seeds off of one harvest of tomatoes. Whatever, you're going to eat some and, whatever. But I mean, if you're going to can tomatoes, take the damn seeds out. You do it anyway. Can your tomatoes, got a bowl of seeds. Save those for yourself. Share those. Why are you going to spend $5 for seeds? Saving tomato seeds, saving cucumber seeds, stuff like that. Pepper seeds. I mean, it's freaking simple, guys. But, use those. They're all heirloom tomatoes or heirloom cucumbers or anything I sent you was heirloom stuff. Save the seeds from what you get next year. Save plenty and share with others, because as somebody just asked earlier, what would be one of my barter items? Seeds. It's a great barter item to have because everybody's going to need food. There is not a single person out there that's going to go, I don't need food, I'm good. Because, like I say all the time, I got a year's worth of food. Great. What do you do on day 366? Okay. Heather Bray, how to cure onions. You hang them upside down. The absolute best person I would say to watch on that one is go to Hollis and Nancy's homestead and watch his videos on growing onions. It shows exactly how to grow from seed to curing to finished, everything like that. Go look in his videos, just put a search in there for onions and find it. Very easy guy to watch and very knowledgeable when it comes to gardening. DW, is it okay if we lose our minds? I lost mine a long time ago. It's the only thing that keeps me sane is by being half crazy. Ellen Davis, you're exceptionally happy tonight. Glad you are. Sending blessings. I enjoy the giveaway nights. I always do. It's fun to make somebody else happy. So it's something that makes me tick. So Joanne Betts, did I review Hillary's response to President Trump about her emails versus no, I could care less what that wench says. She's about as useless of a human being as there comes. The only one she's important to is herself. Well, she ain't even important to Bill. I saw there was an article yesterday on, I forget, I think it was on New York Post or something like that, why she wears pantsuits. And I had to go read this. I figured this was going to be something great. And according to her, apparently some journalist was trying to take pictures up her skirt one time. I'm not going. I'll let you put punchlines in here because there's a ton of them. Okay, but we'll just leave it there. Laura Story, do I have a greenhouse or a root cellar? I do not have a greenhouse, and I showed you guys how to build the root cellar I have. And yes, it's very effective and very cheap, and will store about 200 pounds of produce. So, it's basically taking a couple of galvanized aluminum trash cans and burying them. And it works perfectly, and it's cheap. I do not have a greenhouse, but again, would I like to have one? Yes. Do I have the property space for them? No, because where I have my gardens are where all the sunny spots are. There's one other sunny spot, but that's basically sitting right over my septic tank. And it's where I played ball with the dog. So that's not it, but we do pretty good on what we grow in the gardens to stock the pantry for the winter. And we're okay there. Would I like to have more gardens? Yes. Do I have the time to handle more? No. That's, there's the other thing. You have all the space in the world, but unless you have the ability to work those plots, they just wind up weed patches, so you got to remember that too. You can have 20 acres, but you only own what you can protect. You only can produce what you can work. Cows are my therapy. Have you cracked open any persimmons to predict the winter weather? No. No, I don't do weather forecasting. I trust other people to do that. That's their job. Okay. Looking at trees and picking up rocks and watching the color of bugs, and I'll let other people do that. That's not something I know. Kenny Crowder, thank you for the super chat. This is for the years I've watched while taking care of my dad. This is for you, for all you do for others. Sorry, it's not more yet. This is for you. Thank you for. Be safe. Love you. Thank you very much. That was very sweet of you. I appreciate that. Tanya Joya, thoughts of the U.S. naval ships awaiting orders off Taiwan as well as others. Well, yeah, we had Taiwan shoot down a Chinese drone the other day or whatever. China's pushy. And, the U.S. is there to kind of show a little bit of sign of force, saying, we got Taiwan's back. So, we're now into that diplomatic pissing match, let's put it that way, where, my ship is bigger than your ship, that sort of, we'll see if that eventually shuts everybody up. But, remember, the people that are arguing are not the people on those ships. They're not the people in the planes. They're people sitting in their nice, comfortable leather chair, waiting for the waitress to bring them, their glass of champagne or whatever it is. And they're going, yeah, you know what? I'll see your Tomahawk missile and I'll up you this. Again. Elaine Pruden, I know what you mean on the fake stuff. Sometimes it's good for a laugh. Oh, yeah. As long as people understand that it's good for a laugh, I get that. The problem is there's too many people that take that stuff seriously, and that's what's going to get us in trouble. I mean, that's again what Trump was talking about with fake news and everything. The comment, tell a lie often enough, and eventually people will believe it. That's the thing. I mean, and what channels like that try to do. Hey, if I say that and 15 other channels just go and say it and say, I heard on such and such, it'll get me a bunch of views and everything. That's exactly what it's for. Nobody goes out and verifies it. When somebody sends it to me, I check everything, okay? And I still make mistakes. But I'm certainly not taking anybody's word for it that Kamala Harris has been sworn in as president. Really? Okay. I'll tell you every time, everything you hear me say, go check it on your own. Could I be wrong? Possibly. Not probably, but possibly. And depends on the source I got. And I've had stories where after I've done the video and, I record a video at say 10 o'clock, it takes an hour to upload. And by the time it's released, it's 11 o'clock. And the story may have changed in that time and I don't know it. That's happened to me a couple of times. So, whoops, we just lost that one right to the bottom. So let's see where we get there. Gloria Hubert, what's the best coffee for long-term storage? I have no idea. I never done, wouldn't even know how to compare it. Okay. I mean, coffee's coffee. Definitely not the instant coffee. Yes, if you want to get into that, yes. But I mean, whether Folgers or Maxwell House, I can't tell you. Instant coffee, yes. Do not do any of those international delicacy, Vienna cream coffees. Those will spoil. Lydia Norwood, is Walmart a safe place to buy silver? No. No. The only place you want to be buying silver from is either a silver wholesaler or a coin shop or something like that. Do not be buying silver from Walmart. Okay. If you can find junk silver coins, I mean, everything's probably been way picked over at this point, but I mean, literally, there are plenty of people that go to the store and take, $100 if they'll give it to you and say, I want 10 rolls of quarters, go home and look through all those quarters for pre-1964 quarters, find one maybe, put in a 1997 quarter, take it back and say, I want a different 100 rolls of quarters. People have been doing that for years. As I said, most of it's probably picked over, but you still might find it. Anytime you get change, check it. I know I've been handed change, relatively recently. I was given a $5 bill that was, just regular $5 bill in cash, and it said silver certificate on the bottom of it. It's worth a hell of a lot more than $5. Okay, thank you. J. Thomas Reset, why didn't the Texans just drain their pipes before they froze? Probably because they didn't realize that they were going to freeze. I mean, it doesn't happen down there. I mean, I was down in Texas for ice storms when I lived down there. But, never to the point where it got that cold that long that the pipes froze. Let's see. Melinda Thompson, I've paid my rent for the next 10 months. There you go. You're good. You're not one of the 20% of the American population that's worried that they're going to get evicted in the next 2 months. Scott Graham, ideas for a DIY indoor wood stove. Is it possible? Oh, certainly it's possible. You better have great skills because, Here's a problem when you get with wood stoves, guys. First off, you got to meet building codes with them. And second off, as soon as you put a wood stove in there, your insurance company may say, we no longer insure your house. Okay, just saying. Before you do anything like that, even having one professionally installed, check with your insurance company. Because if you got a mortgage and you put a wood stove in, you have to carry insurance on that house, per your mortgage contract. You might find that you don't find anybody who can insure you, and now you're screwed. But ideas for doing it yourself, there's no way in the world I would do it myself. You better be a highly skilled blacksmith, iron worker to do something like that. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff you need to know about the steel that you are using for that wood stove. It's not just make a box out of whatever steel you see laying around and you're good. Kevin Little, our electrical bill tripled here in central New York. Not usage, but the supply services charge. $32 charge last month, $91 this month. Supply charge, yeah, the line charge. I always love that. This is what we're going to charge you to get the electricity to your house. It's like, the CEO needs to put his daughter through college. No, I can't use that example because Biden's paying for that. The CEO's daughter needs a new Maserati, so we're going to put a new line charge on there. Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of crap it is. Dorian Tercero, how do you start prepper security for your family? Well, the very first thing you need to do is come up with a plan. All right. And I'll give you this. Hopefully that you already have some of it in place. If the house starts on fire in the middle of the night, everybody's got to get out of the house. Where's our rallying point? Where does everybody meet? Oh, we meet down at the mailbox. Okay. There's the start of your plan. How are you going to get out of the house? Do you have one of those fire ladders? And I mean, I'm not just talking about fires. I'm talking, let's say that the Chinese come rolling down the street, okay, and you need to get out your bedroom window and get out of the house, beat feet real quick. How are you going to get out? Bad guys just came in, busted through the front door. How do you get out of the house? Okay, you're not going down the stairs and walking out the front door. What's your escape plan? Do you have those ladders? Do you have a way to jump? Whatever it would be. Then you get into some sort of training, if you will. Have you trained your spouse? Have you trained your kids on firearm safety? Okay. And my kid's only 10 years old. Go back a couple of generations. You had 8-year-olds that walked around with 22s, and they'd go out with fun with their buddies and say, oh, gee, we're gonna shoot possums this afternoon. They bring something home for dinner. Okay. At 8 years old, a little 22 rifle is something that a kid can learn with easy. And I know somebody's going to come in here and say, oh, don't train them with the 22. 22's nothing, but, and every time I hear somebody say 22's nothing, I'm like, okay, tell you what, come on over to my house, stand in front of my target, and I'll practice with my 22. And you tell me when it hurts. Yeah. 22 will hurt. Trust me, it'll kill you. But, the first thing to do is to have a plan. Then, now you're going to start doing things like perimeter security around the house, which I've got a couple ideas for videos that I want to do on that. But, security for everybody there is no, like in all prepping, there's no one size fits all. What I do for security here on my property could be completely different from guaranteed is completely different from what you're going to do on security on yours. Where are the entries and exits to your property? Where are the most logical places that that the bad guy is going to come from? How do you have those protected? What kind of cameras do you have set up? There's a whole lot that you need to sit down and seriously assess on your own, going, if I was the bad guy, what would I do if I was going to that house, meaning your own, okay? And you put yourself in that mindset and go, okay, how creative would I get? How creative could a bad guy get? What would be his path to the door? And then you start figuring how you can break that path down to put them in a firing zone. Those are things that you got to do yourself. John Payne, do I think it's going to be a red landslide in November? Yes, I do. Okay. I mean, all this news media spin going, oh, the Democrats are gaining ground. They're not gaining anything. Okay. The what's the word I'm looking for? Not excitement, but the how bad that the people, independents, conservatives, want to get to the polls to vote all these yahoos out. I mean, they're chomping at the bit. The Democrats, they're not going. I mean, how many Democrats have you talked to going, I'm excited to go vote for the guy that supports Joe Biden. I want to see Beto win. Yeah. How many of those have you seen? You know, I mean, Joe holds a rally and 6 people show up. You know, even if you saw his speech the other day, you know, the pits of hell speech, when they panned back a couple of times and you saw the crowd, there were maybe 40 or 50 people there. I mean, that were Biden supporters. There were more hecklers there than there were Biden supporters at his speech. But yeah, I absolutely think there's going to be a red wave no matter what the media tries to tell you otherwise. Even Fox, that keeps tipping further left every day. Okay. Yeah. Now, when you're starting to see the races that were close, you know, Kerry Lake is starting to pull ahead. Herschel Walker is starting to pull ahead. Even Dr. Oz is starting to catch up to Fetterman. Yeah, there is no excitement for the candidates from the left and the red, the conservatives, the GOP. They're just like, I don't care if it's Mickey Mouse who's running on the GOP ticket. Get this damn Democrat out of here. Brittany Fellings, I don't know what you're talking about with assassination of pregnant wife. So 10 for men at 6'8". Do I feel comfortable riding a motorcycle? Okay. You guys wanted, somebody asked last week for another Army story. You guys met Brett, my buddy. So when we were in California, Brett had a old Honda Nighthawk 450, okay, 450 cc bike, which I eventually bought from him, and I rode that for a while. Then I had what was the other one I had? I think it was a Kawasaki 650 I had when I was going to college. Okay. I haven't ridden a bike in 30 years, not 25 years. But I know how and have owned a couple in my past. But so here was the thing. So you had Brett's 5'10", 5'9", somewhere thereabouts, and me, 6'8", and 2 golf bags strapped to the back of a 450cc bike, riding up the hills in Monterey, California. I mean, it had to look hilarious because, I mean, literally at our heights, I could look right over his head. That was it. But, you know, we were 19 years old or whatever it was, and golf at the Naval Postgraduate School out in Salinas was $21 a month, you know, so that was pretty good on a private salary. And so, you know, a lot of us went out and played a lot of golf because for $21 we could play all the golf we wanted. And, you know, so you go make a Saturday out of it, grab a 6-pack, and the whole, you know, 12 of you go out and play golf for a while. But yes, I can ride a bike, no problem. Just haven't done it in a long time. It'll probably take me 5 minutes to remember how to do it again. Get prepped. Some YouTube channels and are many putting fake breaking news. Okay. Yes, I think I get the gist of what you're saying here. Yeah, I mean, again, you get a lot of them that are doing it just so they can generate. I see when they do that and I go, okay, you just completely blew any credibility you have. Being wrong is one thing. Making shit up is completely different. You know, and I have no respect for people that make stuff up. Okay. Being wrong, hey, we're all wrong sometimes. None of us walk on water. But, you know, you're wrong, admit you're wrong, move on. Okay. But when you start making stuff up, that I got a real problem with. And I'm sorry, no, Kamala Harris is not president right now. Nolan Hines, I have so many bell pepper seeds. Yeah, so do I. Why do you think I was willing to pass them out? I've still got probably half a baggie full of them. Wish I had the tomatoes. That I don't have. I gave up everything I had in jalapeno seeds. I've still got jalapenos growing, so I'm not worried about getting more seeds. Uh, all the Russian tomatoes, both the Sakarnis and the Siberians, Mrs. P and I kept a little bit for us so we could plant them again next year. The radish seeds, I just kept enough, so I've got radishes next year. So I mean, I gave a lot of what I had in all those seeds in the seed plant. But please don't send me seeds, guys. I've got plenty. You know, give them to somebody else as you're going along. You know, go along. I appreciate it. Please don't. Holy crap! That's bad. It's 9 o'clock. All right, I'm not going to. I don't know if Jason's here, so let me see. Jasper's mom. I'll do this and I'll finish because I don't know if Jason's doing it, if he's still in Iceland or not. If an assassination started World War I, what do you think would happen if there was something with potato? That I doubt. I don't think that. I don't. It would cause an uproar, but I don't think he's got enough support anywhere that anybody care. They'd be just like, all right, stick him in a box. Next. But that would be it. All right, guys, it's 9 o'clock. Congratulations. I've had other companies try to get a hold of me. Some are interested or not, and some just have crazy, wanting me to sign contracts. That ain't happening. Okay. I'm not doing affiliates, all this sort of stuff. No. So we'll see what happens next. But have a good evening. We'll see you in the morning. Pinball out.